Feel like I'm going in slow motion. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. This is the Ladies Lounge with Jazz and T. I am Jazz, and that one over there, that's T. Thank you again for joining us, everyone. We are here, and we have a special guest in the Ladies Lounge tonight. We are talking all things Yoni, okay? And she's going to break this thing down for us, all right?
Yes.
Miss Sonia Keller.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
Viva Yoni.
yes. Founder and owner
Yes.
of Viva Yona. So, thank you for joining us tonight in your busy schedule, for taking the time to sit with us for this hour on a Sunday.
On a cold Sunday night.
Right.
Yes.
My hands are still cold.
Right. So, ladies and gents,
Yes. Come learn something.
right, come learn something about the Yoni. So, we're going to give the floor to you.
We're going to let you take completely over because we have questions. We know you have answers. So
Right. So,
explain to us what Viva Yoni is, how it came about. A lot of people don't even know what is Yoni. They don't even know where the word originated from.
right.
So, just educate us a little bit.
So let's just get the whole what is a yoni thing out of the way, and then I can go
Right.
into
Yeah.
how I got here. So yoni is the Sanskrit word for sacred womb. So anything reproductive area in your pelvic region.
Mhm.
So with that in mind now, Viva Yoni is it's something that I came up with and about a year ago actually. I've been in the wellness industry for 20 years. I started in massage therapy. I went into personal training. Then I went into life coaching. So with nutrition background as well, bringing all of that together. And what really, really prompted this was over the years working with women
Right.
and learning that women, after marriage, after having babies,
Mhm.
they weren't having sex. That was one of the first things.
Right.
The second,
Oh.
yeah, and a lot of women or don't talk about their bladder leakage that they experience after having a baby.
Right.
And some women have just never even heard of it at all
Mhm.
and don't really want to talk about it. And I can't remember the exact statistic, but it's somewhere like 75% of women don't even bring it up to their doctors until it gets really bad. So bladder leakage involves cough when you cough, sneeze, laugh hard, jump.
Right.
That's when I noticed it in my fitness practice.
Right.
Women wouldn't want to jump because they couldn't for fear that they would pee on themselves. So hence there are adult diapers now.
Right.
But that is not something that has to be an inevitable thing just because we're aging. It's just like any other muscle. If it atrophies, it's not going to have the muscle tone.
Right.
So the pelvic floor holds up the organs, our uterus, our fallopian tubes, our digestive. So when that's weakened, you get both bladder prolapse, and the eventuality is organ prolapse, where the organs literally fall through the cervix.
Oh.
Yes. So, needless to say, that's another reason why women sometimes aren't having sex because that is painful. So that's kind of the premise. And seeing my mom just as a single mother work herself literally to death. At 14, we were introduced to a whole new protocol of healthy eating, mind, body, with when medical doctors couldn't figure out what was going on with my mom. She was undiagnosable to them.
Wow.
And so we started eating differently. She took sit baths. Reflexology was part of it, which is why I went into massage therapy. So reflexology is, I knew it up until a few years ago to be just hands, feet, and ears. Now I know from Master Taoists, they teach also about the sex organs having reflexology. So and that's where other health benefits and other orgasms come into play in terms of sexual intercourse.
Right.
Right, true. We're gonna talk about those other health
So here you have the history
of the yoni, where
right,
it came
of
from.
how Miss Sonia started her whole background. But we're gonna get into the real
The nitty gritty. We're gonna get into the good
sexual,
stuff.
and yes, the good stuff
Yeah.
of the yoni.
Yes. We want
Which
to.
I never heard that name, but I on one of the shows, one of the reality shows, I believe
Yes.
I heard that name. But it was just like when Jazz said we was on Instagram, I said, I think I heard that before, but what is it again?
Right. So I use it specifically for the vaginal canal, like when I'm talking about it, when we're talking about yoni eggs, the yoni egg is going into the yoni, the vaginal canal. So, but it was a practice that was established centuries ago, where the concubines and queens of Chinese dynasties would have the women use yoni eggs or jade eggs interchangeably to keep the vitality of their pelvic region, of their yonis, in a healthful place, so that they can remain tight and firm throughout their years. So it's not a new practice. It's not something that is brand new, that someone just came up and said, oh, okay, this sounds like it's a good moneymaker. No, this has been tried and proven for years and years.
We definitely want to shout out our audience. We have so many people out there joining us. Thank you all wanting to come to learn about the yoni, right? We have Rich, we have Ali, of course, she's on here.
Okay.
Tasha, Quay, and my girl Jazz, Janine. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Please like, comment, and share this. We're going to learn about this yoni, okay? We're going to get this thing together. Keep it tight, keep it right. That's what we're here to learn how to do.
Right.
So, in your journey as being a instructor, like, you do retreats too, right?
Yes, I am building a worldwide retreat model. So in building that, my thought is, as women, two things. As women, we tend to be natural nurturers. Most women, not all.
Right.
And so therefore, we want to make sure that everyone else is taken care of. That gives us some joy. There's nothing wrong with that. However, the problem comes in when there's not a balance. Right? So we have these long to-do lists. Every day we're making our to-do list. We've got to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And when we know we need to get to the doctors, or we need to get to the gym, or we need to do some meal prepping, or we need to go get, I don't know, our hair done and whatever else, buy a new outfit, or just take time for ourselves, we don't do it.
Right.
So part of my brand as I grow, I want to create this platform since we all use hashtags these days on social media, hashtag I am my list. So with that, you can remind yourself that you are part of your list. You are just as important. It's like going back to when you're on an airplane.
Right.
You put the oxygen mask on yourself. That's very important. There's a balance there. And there's another imbalance where I find women focusing their attention on everyone else is to keep their own responsibility of taking care of and change, self-development and change. Because when you're always focused externally, you don't have to go internally to address the stuff that we've got going on. So the longer we do that, the better we are feeling, at least on the surface. So that's a part of what I also get into in the retreats, is taking care of yourself, learning to set boundaries. And that's going to be a weird thing, because people are going to be like, hold up, you weren't doing that before. Like, where's this coming from? And so there's going to be, especially with your partner, there will be a conversation that's going to be necessary as things come up. And So, yeah, I lost my train of thought, but yeah.
Now, okay, so going back to the orgasm, it's when we had this conversation
Mhm.
before on the phone, before we interviewed you, it's 3 types,
Y'all better get y'all pen and paper for
right?
this one.
It's 3, not 3 types, but I know we was talking about the
3 different orgasms
yeah,
Well,
and it may be more, but I know it's just 3 that we kind of
mhm.
touched on.
touched on.
Mhm.
So can you let us know the 3 type of orgasms and the difference?
Well, there's
in
definitely
each-
more types
Yes,
of orgasms.
yes.
So let's just put it out there.
The
Okay.
main
So,
ones. Okay, here it is. The main ones
Pen and
that
paper,
No,
y'all.
the
I'm
average
gonna
person
back-
know about, right?
I'm going to back up a little bit first. So,
Okay.
if you've never masturbated as a woman, if you've never played with yourself, you don't know what's going on down in your yoni and what turns you on, you're going to need to do that.
Right.
First off.
Mhm.
Okay. So, and here's a question. Have you ever been playing with yourself and you are like, damn it, that's not the orgasm I wanted? Like, so you have to adjust your stroke to get the orgasm that you're looking for.
Right.
Like, this is real talk.
Right.
So,
Right.
the beauty of women is we have a span of types of orgasms in the sense of what they feel like, even if it's, say, let's just take a clitoris
Mhm.
orgasm
Right.
first. That's the easiest. Most people are very familiar with.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
on the outside, so
Mhm.
it's very accessible.
Right.
Right.
Even with that, though, there are multiple sensations that you can feel based on the pressure and stroke of your clit. Yes,
Okay.
ladies?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So if not, play with that. And,
Right.
and
Play with that. Figure out what's going on with that. There.
Yeah.
Right.
So the clitoris has one nerve directly to the brain. Okay, so we know like one nerve. Ooh, we're liking that already. One nerve is good.
Yeah.
One nerve is good. I can work with
Yes,
that.
Oh,
absolutely.
even okay. Wait. I'm listening, but it's just like okay, that one nerve. But what about when? What is that? I'm not. I guess I'm learning too as you talk. But what about like I said that one nerve? But when you're playing with yourself, you're masturbating, and you're like, okay, I need to concentrate because I feel it,
Right.
but I'm too tense because I'm waiting for it to come. You know what I'm saying? That feeling like you want that feeling to come.
Anticipating
Yeah, you know that feeling, so you're
And
not
you lose
rubbing.
it sometimes.
Yes,
Yeah.
even which is
Yes,
good,
of
because
course.
you're
but you like
Of
yeah.
course.
So you like hold on, okay, let me
I gotta relax.
Yes, let me relax.
Yes, exactly. And let's put that on pause. We'll come back to that.
Right, okay.
So what I want to clarify that the clitoris has the one nerve to the brain. However, it doesn't mean I'm not saying that that's the only nerve. There are multiple nerves
Correct.
in your whole zone there. So.
Right.
And it's controversial, but the G spot is, they say it's the inside, it is the attachment to the inner, like, clitoris. Because the clit is not just the teardrop, if you will, on the outside.
Right.
Those muscles go deeper into the vagina.
Right.
And on the sides of it. So,
Right.
and you can feel, when you feel around, you can feel the muscle right on the side. And when you get to that point on the inside, the G spot, as it's called, there are 2 nerves there. The cervix has 3, and that's where.
Come on, girl.
That's where it gets really intense. So when you have an orgasm through your cervix, through your G spot, those are a little more localized.
So
Those
that's
are
a cervical orgasm.
No. So the clit and the G spot, those are kind of a little more localized. You feel it here, you feel it in your body, but it's not that full like rush, like
Right.
where a cervical orgasm. Having that experience is like a flush of total body And the aftershocks that can come with that can be up to maybe an hour.
She said it's an aftershock.
Well,
Yes.
for lack of a better word.
I love that word.
So you know how when it's really good, it's
Right.
a good session,
Right.
and you just want to lay on the bed like
Is that a good
A good session. Like therapy.
you
Right.
don't. It is.
It's a yoni therapy, right?
It is therapy. We need more therapy.
Yes.
So you just feel like you don't even want to move a finger.
Right.
You just
Right.
want to lay there and savor and bask and just relax. I mean,
Back to the ambiance.
yes.
Right.
And it is a total release. Now, going back to the reflexology aspect.
Mhm.
So the cervix is when you are exploring and you put your fingers in your yoni and you feeling up to the cervix. If you haven't done that yet, you should probably do that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And you feel that the texture of your cervix is a little bit rubbery. It's firm,
Mhm.
so the way that you approach the cervix is much different. So women may not want or like the feeling per se of having that pound. You have to find your rhythm. You have to be able to explore. Some women are very sensitive and it hurts. And it may not be necessarily a hurt as much as it is an unexplored area where you're actually focusing on that area. Now, the cervix is the heart of reflexology in the yoni. So when you have the yoni and the penis, the reflexology points are the base is the kidney, and then you go to liver and spleen, and at the top, the penis is the heart, and the cervix is the heart. So
Okay.
you get a real heart to heart, which also can become an emotional release as well.
Oh, when you had that one little tear.
Yes. Well, it may be more than a tear. So,
Wow.
yes, a lot of women,
Right.
including myself, when I first experienced that or was about to experience
Right,
that,
right,
I was
right.
like, hold up. I am not comfortable with myself
Right.
enough to release that, to be that vulnerable, because it made me want to cry.
Mm.
So, and crying and men and sex, that whole combo is
Right,
that's a
right.
really awkward place if you're not sure what's going on.
Right, right, right.
So that also needs to be a conversation. And
Like if I cry, don't mind me. I just had like the best orgasm ever.
yeah,
But when you do that, I guess is that making a man feel like
He did something wrong. Or
it
not
could.
even something wrong,
That's
or either like he's the man. Let's just say he's the man.
of course, it's an ego stroke.
No, but it's
it
fine. Because you
definitely could be.
It's fine.
No, ego really isn't fine in the sense that
No.
only unless it makes us better. However,
not the ego part, but I mean as far as to be able to communicate with your partner that you hit the right spot. And I'm just saying, as sometimes couples, you get couples that can do that. Yeah, I did that. Yeah,
Mhm.
and y'all laugh about it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
sure.
But don't
You want to have fun with it.
Yeah, don't take it to the extreme. Like
Well,
you doing too much. But you should be able to like. That was awesome.
Right.
Do what you did again. Do it the next night. You know what I'm saying? Like that type thing. You know what I'm saying? What you did last night, do it again.
But here's the thing: when we strive for goals,
Right.
for instance,
Right.
not just sexually with
Right.
our partners,
Right.
but even also in life, when we are so focused on the goal, a lot of times we'll miss the journey.
That's important.
So when you're having sex and you're intimate with your partner, and you want to experience that same thing again, I would say the approach should be more like getting yourself into an in-tuned, calm, relaxed place like you mentioned before, when you're playing with yourself,
Right.
and we've gotten too stressed out about it, and we're trying to hurry it up so we can get to work.
Oh, you know you
or
gotta hurry up and pick the kids up. Be like,
fix
come
it,
on,
yeah,
come on.
exactly.
Oh,
See, this is
God.
beautiful because I want to create this
That's what
platform
it is.
to talk about this.
Yes.
You know?
That's what we do.
Right.
And I'm happy to be here for it. But so it's important to be able to just maybe not focus like I want it just like that, because it may not come that next time just like that, and you're so
Right.
focused on that, and then you have it's pressure. You know how much pressure
Okay.
that is for him and for you too, because
Okay.
then you're trying to mimic exactly what you just did prior, when really you were just very present with each other, and you allowed yourself to let go and to be vulnerable with each other, and to really truly experience and soak up and savor the moment, so that you can indulge in that pleasure and that desire that is our birthright.
Yes, that is our birthright. I completely agree. Listen, if you have any questions, y'all out there, please feel free to ask. If you have any comments, don't be shy. As you can tell, this is not a shy place.
Right.
So you are here in
Definitely
JT
not.
Ladies Lounge, and we are talking all things Yoni. We are here with Miss Sonia Keller and Viva Yoni. You know, she's giving us everything. So when you're, what was the other orgasm? We talked about two, or did we talk about all three?
No, it was.
Those
Talk
were
about
like
the-
the main three
Okay.
areas per se in the vaginal area. There is like another place, it's called the A spot, which is on the anterior part of the cervix. So that's on the top part, like so anterior is the front.
Right.
So a good place to get that is from behind or on top.
True.
Okay.
And it depends if the penis is curved, so you want to, so you.
And that was one of my next questions. When you were just talking about all the type of orgasms, it does play a part with
The shape of the penis.
not the shape, but I guess the length, the shape
Mhm.
of your partner.
Exactly.
It does, right?
Yeah, you can actually. This is a medium one. This is the like blue, gray agate, blue gate. So this is a medium one. You can actually have sex with this. So if he falls short, pun intended,
So okay, but I'm okay. Just wondering,
but
how
you don't
can
feel it. Your uterus and your the inside, when you're highly aroused, you expand.
So you
So-
put that in you, like while the penis is.
Or the little
Yeah.
penis.
No, no, you put that in.
come up short.
No, but you put that in you 1st and then the
The little
penis goes.
Yeah.
Can it be a regular penis? Or is it like for little penis? Little penis
You
only?
can. It is totally up to your liking.
Right, right. So,
It's an egg.
I mean, okay. So let me ask you this: how with talking to women about this, when they want to talk to their significant other, like how do you approach your partner
Everyone is
about
going to
that?
be different. What specifically would you? I mean, yeah. What specifically? Using the yoni egg, or talking about orgasms?
Well, both. I guess both. Because every guy might not be okay with that. So how can you? What's the best way, or
In my
the way
opinion,
to communicate
hold
with
up.
your partner?
If you're not okay with it, I'm not with you.
Right.
Because you should be trying to get me to that next level, right?
Right. And I have to first know about my body, and I'm gonna know more about my body than you know. So I think, in answer to your question, I think a woman needs to come from a place of love.
Right.
So when you create your intention before you have a conversation like this, because it could be sensitive in that he might not that you're saying that or
Right.
conveying that, but he may feel like you are talking about him not satisfying you all this other time before.
Right.
So, and again, that's a level of trust.
Right.
I mean, if you have that kind of a disconnect,
Right.
I feel like that's a problem. That's another problem outside of myself.
Right. Right. Right.
What I would say is definitely come from a place of love and say, hey, I've been researching, I've been learning about my body. I wanted to share some things, some stuff that I think will really be fun.
Right.
But it's new for me, and I wanted to, talk to you about it because it's going to take some exploration and some adventure.
Right.
And, just approach it that way.
Right. Just as well as men should be able to do that with
Right.
women.
And women do the same thing.
Right.
They get all
It should go
sensitive
both
about,
ways.
yeah.
Yes. It should be able to go both ways. So we're gonna take a little break, about a 2-3 minute break, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss vaginal dryness. Okay, because we didn't discuss that.
And we're also going to talk about the wonderful things that she brought here to share with us today.
Yes.
You got a little sample. She showed you the egg, the medium egg. And wait, before we go to break, okay, so I do have a question.
Okay.
Can your partner feel that?
No.
Huh.
So you insert it
You don't even know what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
So for it to come out, just got like.
Right.
Okay.
We can.
Okay. So we're gonna go to break.
No, we're not gonna do no examples. We're not gonna do no presentation.
No example.
But you can push it in.
Yeah, so make sure you come back. Go, do what you gotta do. Invite, like, comment, and share.
Right.
Go to the bathroom and try and stop your pee and see how well you do.
Do the Kegels. All right. See y'all in a minute.
Thank you. Jazz.
7:43.
Exactly. Welcome back, everyone. You are joining us in JT Ladies Lounge with Jazz and T, and we are talking all Viva Yoni tonight. All right,
Yes,
with Miss
yes,
Sonia
yes.
Keller. Okay, now I don't know if y'all had your pen and pad like I told y'all to do, but she done gave us 3 different orgasms you can have. She done gave us some, the background about, where the word Yoni comes from, what it means, and also she's educated us as far as how to keep it healthy. The heart to heart connection.
Yes.
She's been dropping jewels if y'all been listening. So even if you haven't, you can always go back and watch. But we definitely want to thank our audience. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight here in the Ladies Lounge. I had a couple questions before we went into the items that you brought. We were talking about doing Kegels right when I went to commercial, and I was wondering if the long-term effects of doing Kegels and how much is too much, and if there is such thing as too much. Because I think I read somewhere that if you do it too much, like it can cause a problem to where you think you're done peeing and you're not, and then you're going about your day, or you get up and wipe up and all that, and you pull your clothes back up, and next thing you know, you're peeing all over again, but you just got finished.
Right.
So I don't like weakness, or it's something that your body just automatically does because you just start and stop it.
Right. So there's a couple things. It is you could have if you do. Let me back up. For what I like to use the P test for is to get a baseline for where you are, where your pelvic floor is. If you can stop your pee after you're in the midstream, not in the beginning, you got to let it flow, and then try and stop it. That's where you're really going to get the real measure of the strength of your pelvic floor. So, and I would say do that once a week. Now, as you use your yoni aids and you're practicing in conjunction with your Kegels, you want to not only contract, but you also want a full extension. So if you're working out at the gym and you have your bicep, I'm contracting in this position. But when I come down here, I want a full extension. If I'm only going to come here, that's not a full range of motion, right? So same with the yoni aid practice. When you do your yoni aid practice, you're going to contract, but you're also going to release full range of motion.
Correct.
So you want to get to the point where you can move the egg, side note, the egg up and down your vaginal canal. And that's a full range of motion. So, and that'll also increase your pleasure in the bedroom too. So you can, with that type of tone, you can grab his penis, hold it, and
Release.
and then release.
Grab and release all the way up. All the way back down.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So in answer to your question, there is a thing of pelvic tension. So, and just like with any muscles, shoulders, lower back, or whatever it is,
Right.
people hold their tension in different areas of your body. So remember, your pelvic floor, your reproductive organs, your yoni are muscles.
Right.
So you can get pelvic tension, you can tighten up and you can hold your stress there. That's another reason why yoni aid practice is good. So with the reflexology, with those nerve endings, the yoni aid can serve as a massage also to release certain pressure points and traumas that you have within your body. Now that's when we talked about the cervical orgasm and the heart to heart with the penis head and the cervix, that is also opening up your heart chakra, which is your love chakra, the chakra where love is. So unconditional love, receiving, giving, external love, all of that is in your heart chakra. So that's part of where the crying may come from. It could be pent up traumas that you have, and it could be sexual traumas
Right.
as well.
Right.
So a variety of things. So it's my practice in Viva Yoni is not just about sex. It
Right,
really
exactly.
is the
No,
health,
of
the whole woman. So we talk about the energy and the chakras and being in alignment with yourself, reconnecting with yourself. We're so disconnected. Just based on our ongoing
Everyday life.
everyday life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. I guess which is like the major part of us because are you not to say that we are what's the word? Not saying that we our uterus just make us women, but that is a major part of us as being a woman.
Yeah.
No, it really is. It's a major part. You got.
We are
you
the
got
only
birth.
one
Like,
on
we
the
are-
planet that can give life in the
Right.
human species.
Right.
I mean, the men can't. And
Right.
back in the,
Right.
if you
Right.
go back to history and there's rituals and tribal practices that men come to women, have come to women for discernment, for wisdom, because we have life. We give life.
Yeah.
So as goddesses,
Mhm.
that is something, and being divine, that is something that's real.
You know, I think a lot of us forget that. You know what I'm saying? Because not only do we give life, just how things are now in the world, how we no longer see ourselves as goddesses. Now we're objects.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now we're
It's the patriarchal system
Yeah.
versus
And just knowing how, I guess even when giving birth, like I had cesarean, like I never gave, natural birth. But even when seeing it, watching on TV or videos, and just knowing how
Just be like,
the uterus, like,
Right.
it
expand.
Mhm.
Everything just be like
you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like an open
right.
open field.
Well, we do have, the biology of the body is amazing.
You got some
The hormones.
That's a comment.
Okay.
Oh, good. The hormones actually loosen up the joints so that our pelvic floor, our pelvis can actually expand, like our muscles actually move. Not just, our muscles, there are bones that are involved in there too. It's amazing.
It really is. It
Right,
really is.
and I guess to get that back in shape, like how you said when you exercise, you want to get your muscle, your arm, your back,
And it's kind of
you
like your
want to
belly
get your
after you
stomach.
have a
Yeah,
baby. Like you gotta,
yeah,
you gotta
we focus
tighten
on,
that up.
we don't want the belly fat,
Right.
We want the food.
but what goes on underneath that,
It's something way deeper.
right?
Yeah. We do have a comment from our audience. Jazz, Demarcus Jazz Pickett said, most of the whole stress in their health and pelvic wall. She deals with on a regular basis from her female clients because she's a massage therapist as well.
Say it again. She does what?
She's a massage therapist,
Okay.
so she's agreeing with the fact that a lot of women hold stress in that area.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And don't you find that, Jazz, that when you do massage, women are very insecure about even letting you massage their stomach. I think in the massage field, that is a place where people really don't get their stomachs massaged, and their glutes for that matter. But those are that is a very important place to get massage as well.
Right.
Yeah, thank you
and
for that.
I never thought about that.
And and what you saying that, and just with Jazz saying that is the part of our bodies that gave birth.
That's where we carried it at.
Where we carried it, and trust me, I'm guilty by it. But why is that? It's just like why? Just as women, like on a whole nother topic, just as women, like why is that?
Why do we feel so
Well,
insecure?
Yes.
have you ever been told that you were too loud or too, something in you as you were growing up? Someone made some reference to you to make you smaller, to not shine as bright, or
Right.
so all of those things. Like women, people have their idea of what a woman should do, and even though that's expanding, that is that takes us down a path of like the patriarchal mindset. So we're in a man's world, and especially women of color, when you're in you go out into the world,
Right.
your mindset is trying harder. You have to
Right.
do more.
Right.
You have to be more.
Right.
So you turn on, or you even you turn off a lot of who you are, so
Right.
that you can accommodate
Right.
other people that are intimidated by you,
Right. Right. Right.
or just not familiar, or whatever. Just as women in general.
Right.
So those things, those are seemingly small things, but they're huge things because
really is.
over the years we
Learn to do that.
learn to do that. We stifle ourselves, our wants, our desires. That's why we're here. Because even just the sexual satisfaction aspect, if you look at the porn industry, it is geared to what a man likes, what a man wants.
Right.
So
Right.
it hasn't been okay for women to voice what we want,
Right.
what makes us feel good,
Right.
what our desires and pleasures are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just we just give birth,
Object.
we just objects that have children.
Right.
That's the beauty of it, though. That's
Right.
the power within
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Right. So I want women to reconnect, and the first thing that we do really is look at yourself in the mirror and be able to talk to yourself eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
And that's the first place to start connecting, and then using a yoni egg to get in touch with your desire, get in touch with yourself.
Okay, let's talk about the eggs. Let's
Yes,
talk
I know,
about this
even
stuff
the
right
vaginal
here.
dryness, because we
Yes.
gotta talk about that.
So-
yes.
So the yoni egg does an amazing amount of things, including helps with vaginal dryness. When you keep the tone in your yoni, this helps. There are little spongy areas in your yoni where the stone acts as the reflexology to help keep the juices flowing.
Okay.
So there are different sizes. I right now just have large and medium. So this is a rose quartz.
Right.
You can see that. And this is the love stone. And this will, so if you want the spirituality aspect of the stones, the crystals that have certain energies, you can take the rose quartz, and if you want to expand your self-love and to open yourself up to receive more love, because that's another thing, as women, we're giving love, but then it becomes difficult to receive it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we can use this, set the intention you want to receive more, and however you choose to talk to yourself, the specifics surrounding what that is, you can speak it to the stone itself and your voice, the sound and vibrations. This stone has a vibration. When you insert it, then you're going to have the intention set in the stone, the crystal, and you're also going to be getting the health benefits as well as the spiritual benefits.
Right. Okay.
So I would suggest starting, let's back up to when you receive your egg, you're going to want to clean it. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can boil some water, and you can use the finger test. And when the water is warm enough that you can tolerate, you're going to just put it in a mug, a glass, not plastic, and cover the stone. Add a few drops of either lavender or tea tree oil, and sit it in there. Set the timer for about 12 to 15 minutes. You could even go all the way up to 20 minutes. Once you do that as a first time through, you can also, the tea tree and the lavender, the reason why we're using those is because they have components of antibacterial.
And that was my next question. But we have a comment. Jazz said the yoni is the ultimate life energy. She
Yes,
also
she-
says she's correct. Natural stones only in the yoni.
Yes. So, and I'll
Yeah.
show you. So, like, there are Benoit balls, but these aren't crystals. So, years ago I had these because I didn't know any better.
Right.
I didn't know anything about yoni eggs, but I knew the importance of the pelvic floor, but I didn't do any more research. My cousin had told me about it years ago. So, needless to say,
Right.
there are crystals that are this size, and you can get femoral balls, and that is the progressive. So you start with a large, you go to a medium, you go to a small, then if you want, you can use the femoral balls. So when you're starting, after you cleanse your egg, excuse me, you're going to put the egg in with the wide part up. So you want to create some lubrication, right? So you either can use coconut oil, you can use your mouth on your clean egg, you can massage your nipples to create the juice flow in your yoni before you put it in.
Oh.
You can warm it up, or you can just go right to it in terms of the stone. So it's just up to you what your comfort level is. So initially what I like to recommend for newbies is, one, you want to do the P test. See, that's going to be your baseline. And see where you are. Use the yoni egg, put it in at night. Go lay down with your knees up and insert the yoni egg, and then start doing your Kegels there. Start with maybe just 10. You may not even be able to feel that you're doing Kegels, because when I can speak from experience. When I first started doing it, I didn't know what I was squeezing. I was squeezing my butt, I was squeezing my stomach. I'm just like, what am I squeezing? Right. So initially that, keep doing that.
Right.
But you want to be able to isolate and get that sensation of when you're
Like your P muscles.
your P muscles,
Right.
exactly. So you can sleep in it, and then when you get up in the morning, you can take it out. So going back to your point of taking it out, pushing it out,
Right.
you can, to make it easier,
Right.
do a squat. You can put your fingers in there and actually help, catch it. You can see that's my normal catch.
That's your
Right.
catch.
That's my catch fingers right there. So you can do it also just sitting down on the toilet before you pee. Just so you're pushing down, and that's going to get that range of motion too. You're practicing
Right.
that. So as you progress, you can do some like yoga exercises, and so that's part of what I do also in my workshop and my retreats. So doing different things and building up to squatting, lunges, different things. You're smiling.
You can work out with them things.
Yes. Now, I know people that go all throughout the day. Once in a while, I'll hold it in for the day, but I don't do it on a regular basis because I also don't want to have pelvic tension. But I just test myself sometimes.
Right.
So what if you holding it like throughout the day, and you gotta use the bathroom?
You can still use the bathroom. If you're gonna have a bowel movement,
fall out.
sometimes, well, you better put your hand down there and catch it. Before
Oh.
you'll be able to feel that it's the
Right.
movement.
Okay.
Right.
And if you don't initially, well, if you're walking around, when you're at that point, you're going to be able to feel it.
Okay.
But initially, you may not be able to feel the yoni egg at all. I mean, it's like a tampon too. Once you get it in there, and it's kind of, you don't really.
I'm telling you,
I'm
was
reading your
thinking
mind.
about
I'm
that.
reading-
No, I was thinking about. I said, what she's saying is like a tampon.
Yeah,
When you hear
yeah.
people say, I don't like how tampons feel like. Well, if you push it up far enough,
Yes, you put it in
if
right.
you put it in right,
Mhm.
you won't feel it.
Right.
And then people say, when I
Yeah,
walk or when
yeah,
I sit
that's
down,
why I don't
that's
really
because
wear it.
it's not, you didn't push it up. So,
Yeah.
so I was thinking about that as you
Yeah.
were saying that. I really, really was.
Well, and if you put a tampon in and you go straight back, we're not designed like in a straight line. It's a curve.
Right, 'cause
So
even
you
when-
have to, with your tampon, you have to
Yeah.
still kind of, curve it up.
I'm telling you, I was like, sound like kind of like you gotta, even though a tampon you really don't gotta hold,
Mhm.
but I was thinking the same thing, like you gotta insert it the right way where you don't feel it.
Yeah.
And when you push it out, you know what I'm saying, you can Gotta push it out.
You gotta push.
Right.
So this is our medium one, and this is a drilled egg. So
Mhm.
this one is not drilled. So you definitely have to use your fingers or squat to push it out, or lay down. However, you
Get it
get
out.
it out. If you want it out before it naturally releases, then you have to reach in. Now, when you get to a point where your muscles are toned and you want to uh, use more, you want to have a stronger yoni,
Mhm.
you can use your drilled egg, put unwaxed dental floss through, and you're going to change that at each time.
Right.
So what you're going to do is you're going to insert it with the large side up, and then you have this string to hold. So what you want to do is you're going to do your Kegels, and then as you hold the egg in, you're going to tug just a little bit.
Mhm.
Right.
You're going to tug just a little bit, and you'll be able to feel it tighten up. So it creates some resistance, right? So the eventuality is you want to be able to pull a little bit harder each time, or you can pull it longer, or just do faster. So there's training that you can do even with your Kegels, even without a drilled stone and the vaginal weightlifting piece of it. You can do your Kegels, change it up, just like you would at the gym. You know, sometimes you do power, sometimes you do endurance, sometimes,
Right.
it's different.
Right. Wow.
I don't even have any questions.
I
I'm just because I'm in awe of it all.
We
Like,
have questions.
we
like,
we have them, but we don't have
answer
none at all right now. We're just both sitting over here speechless. So what is like? Okay, so tell us what this is.
Well, I use this. This can clear energy. So after a while, when you use your yoni eggs and your crystals, and you're releasing into the eggs, the energy shifts because you're combining what you're releasing and what the energy from the egg is. So it gets a little cloudy. So you need to clear that.
Mhm.
So you can set it under a full moon, or you can set it under the sun. Like it's better if it's a sunset, because you don't want some stones will dull in the sun. You know, it'll fade just like anything else will.
Right.
So if you leave it there, you can recharge like a battery, if you will, the energies. But you can also, use a Tibetan singing bell to create a clearing of energies. You can clear energies in a room also, so that you can actually just kind of, go around the crystal and see if I can get a good. There we go. So our bodies are all frequencies. The heart chakra, nature.
Look, I feel like I should be meditating. I was about to close my eyes.
Well, that's the power of the frequency.
Right.
The Tibetan bells are made specifically for that. So I'm starting a collection so that I can get the different sounds. And our chakras is when we're unaligned, when we're not in alignment with our energy, it causes diseases. So, and 85% of diseases in the reproductive organs from women that women experience, 85% of them are due to a lack of circulation. A lack of circulation. So when you have pelvic tension, it's tightening of the muscles. You're not getting blood and oxygen into the muscles, and that causes disease.
Right.
So it's important to keep to stay in alignment, to get in alignment, so that your energy flows.
Right. So, oh my goodness, like this was a lot to take in an hour. But I mean, if we can have it longer, we would love to. But we already know.
I'm trying to come to that retreat.
Right. So let the audience know where you can be
Found
at, or your upcoming events and just your
Your shop,
contact
where is Viva
information.
Yoni located?
Because we gonna be there.
Yeah.
We gonna be there.
Most definitely, honey. I was ready to, I'm telling you, I was ready to meditate just a second ago. Yeah.
So you can follow me on IG, which is Viva_Yoni, Viva_Yoni, YONI. And also on Facebook is under my name, Sonia Keller. I do a lot of posting there, but I also do posting in Revive with Sonia. My website is there, but it is under construction. So I've kind of gone back and forth with a few web people, and I will eventually get it together. So just follow me on social media. As far as events coming up, I do have a retreat that will be in Costa Rica in May.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Very,
Costa Rica.
very limited space for that one. And that will be, I will be posting that probably in the next couple of weeks. I am looking to do another one in DC, a short weekend retreat. So
Okay, so definitely let us
that will be just a 2-day. And so what I'm doing with this worldwide retreat model is it's an experience from beginning to end.
Sounds like it.
5-star
know. Mhm.
villas and mini mansions
Okay.
all over the world. So the location in DC is there is a mansion that I'm looking to reserve, and in the fall, a big one will be in Malibu. So that one is going to be phenomenal as well.
Imagine.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. We want to thank you so much for coming to the lounge. You are welcome
You're welcome.
anytime.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's probably some more stuff we need to know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Seriously, thank our audience for tuning in. Thank you all for commenting, sharing, liking, and like I said, commenting on this video. It has been amazing, honey. I've been educated, okay, tonight. And also, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Columbus, Justice Columbus, and also TNT Management, building the pathway to your dreams. Again, thank you all for joining us tonight, Miss Sonia Keller.
And don't forget to use hashtag I'm my list anytime
Okay.
you do something for
Hashtag-
yourself.
I am
Yes,
my list.
I am my
Okay.
list, okay? 'Cause we are
Capital I.
Capital I.
Right.
All right, y'all, we gone. See you Wednesday.
Thank you.
Bye.